Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Boozer here. Today's video I wanted to do a little bit of a thoughtful conversation about basically one of the biggest topics right now in the arena environment, and that's going to be Terrace and Marichka. I haven't really put my thoughts together into what I wanted to say about these two champions earlier, other than I don't like playing against them and I think they're super toxic for the whole arena scene. And they have been ever since they were released, I don't know, 6 or 7 months ago. But today I wanted to talk about them a little bit more in detail after doing a little bit extra thoughtful work on them. So let's just get into it. Alright, so we're back here. So I made this a little bit of analysis on these two champions here. So okay, so let's go over Terrace first. So the problem with Terrace, here's his base stats. 22,305 HP is very standard. Okay speed, crit damage is good. So the problem with Terrace right now is that he is a champion that hits incredibly hard on basically all skills. He crowd controls 5 factions with his passive that basically just goes off without any kind of interaction from the player. So his passive, he puts the fear on the orcs, Ogren, undead, and demon factions. So four factions, sorry. So he does that, and he's incredibly tanky, so he's hard to kill. So he does everything. He's basically a Superman. His A1 hits twice, 40% chance to place decreased attack, up to no increase bonus, so only 4%. Each crit fails its turn meter by 5% for all allies. So there's a couple things wrong with it. Like, obviously it hits really hard. It's a 30% damage boost from books, which is not unusual, but it is on the high side. 30% is not the highest, but it's also very high by itself. It's a decreased attack, which is good. And it fills the team turn meter, so it's actually a very strong A1. Hits very strong. In terms of, like, I did some damage comparisons just for multipliers. So he has a double hit A1, so his A1 currently hits 0.12. His double hit, so that equals 0.24. So that puts him in line with, like, you can see here, like Magnar. Magnar is a 0.23. Samson has basically the same multiplier, except he hits with only 20% damage bonus from books. So Terrace has 30% damage bonus from books, which is the highest of all these comparables that I pulled up. So Magnar, Samson, Versolve, Sir Nick. So these are kind of like HP based champions that were considered to hit quite hard. None of them match Terrace in terms of straight damage. Sir Nick hits for 0.25 at 25% from books, which is probably the closest. Is the closest. He has 500 more HP, base HP, so he would be the closest to Terrace. But Sir Nick's A1 has a chance to freeze. So Terrace's A1 has a chance for attack down and boost your turn meter. So there's a couple things wrong with this A1. First of all, it hits too hard, or it does too much in terms of helping your team. And the fact is, he has synergy to apply his A1 more with Marichka. So he has an incredibly good A1 that synergizes to trigger more often with Marichka. Yeah. There's a couple ways to handle, like, any kind of changes to him, but in this video I'm basically talking about what I would do, or what is most likely to happen to fix these champions so that they're still incredibly strong, but not oppressively strong. Because right now they basically shape the meta very kind of negatively, I think. And I think even players that use them / abuse them, they probably feel, like, can we get something different? Like, am I just playing the same two champions all the time? You know what I mean? Like, even, yeah. Anyways, so personally, I think he should have this turn meter fill basically reduced to just himself. Like, that's a very small change. I think it's realistic that Plarium can do this. Plarium does like to only do small tweaks, like tweaks to numbers, tweaks to multipliers, very small text tweaks when they do nerfs. So this would be most realistic. In terms of like books damage, they would never change books, what books do. So, and they could change the damage multiplier, maybe like 0.1 double hit. So it'll make his A1 much weaker, but he still has the utility of the attack down and team turn meter fill. Honestly, his A1 is incredibly strong, but it's not even it's just a part of the problem with this guy. So his A2 heroes intercession, 4-turn cooldown, 3-turn books after books. Again, plus 30% damage from books. So you know he's gonna smack. He cranks, single target, auto stuns, 100% stun. It doubles the damage when their attack is equal or higher than this champion's attack. Okay, so the only comparable I have is Magnar, 37.37 with 20% from books, and Magnar has a lower base HP. So Magnar is hitting slightly higher than his base multiplier, but with less damage from books and less base HP. So basically Terras hits harder than Magnar with his A1, and it has 100% stun. And it's a 3-turn cooldown. And that's before the double damage bonus. So what's the problem here? And it synergizes with Marichka. The passive ability is basically whenever an enemy attacks Marichka, this champion Terras uses this A2 single target nuke. Like if you touch her, he's gonna freaking smack you with this insane single target hit, which is stronger than Magnar's single target nuke. It's pretty insane. You could do like a multiplier reduction. You could do a multiplier reduction, and honestly, why does he need double damage on a trigger that is very easy to trigger, like a condition that's easy to fill? When his attack is equal or higher, like when the enemy attack is equal or higher than this champion, his base attack is so low, it's gonna be so hard to have less attack than Terras. So he's always gonna smack you for 0.7, which is just insane. So the fix that I have currently, I was like, okay, you know what? Plarium's probably never gonna touch the books. Fine. And if they don't touch the multiplier, the least they can do is touch this stupid passive. This passive needs to have like a cooldown, because whenever you touch Marichka and they're on the same team, he just hits you with this nuke with no cooldown. I put a 1-turn cooldown on this. I don't even know if that's even reasonable. That's not even reasonable. If he uses this once, he should put this skill on full cooldown. Like that would be like an actual nerf. But Plarium won't nerf him that hard. So I think something reasonable is to put a 1-turn cooldown on this effect, so that it doesn't keep triggering all the time. Anyways, that might make the combo a little bit easier to deal with. It doesn't necessarily nerf Terras that much by himself, which I think is the real problem, because Terras actually by himself is insanely strong, and Marichka is actually not as strong in live arena, for example, without proper support. In classic arena, you can support Marichka quite well, and then Marichka is incredibly strong. But in live arena, if you take away key pieces, Marichka is actually much more easier to deal with, whereas Terras is always going to be insanely strong. And you can't really remove all the pieces that help Terras, like basically buff champion, Sifi, Duchess, even somebody like Marichka, Warlord, like they have buffs on themselves that can trigger Terras, right? So these nerfs aren't even real nerfs. They're just basically like what I think is reasonable that Plarium would do, kind of easy nerfs, but they probably wouldn't even be enough. So in my opinion, like they need like a hard nerf on some of these skills with Terras. Most of it is resulting to damage. He hits too hard on all his skills. and I hope like some of these like comparisons can really show. But here's the big thing. His AoE is so ridiculously overpowered. So constant pressure, 5 turns down to 4 with books, only 20% from books. Wow, that's the standard amount for like a nuker. He hits all enemies. His damage increases by 15% for each buff on each ally, so it can exceed 100%. Keep that in mind. And then he increases duration of buffs. He heals, and then he restores max HP, which is kind of like secondary, but obviously all beneficial effects. So his multiplier is 0.26 on an AoE. So I have done some research on the multipliers of other comparable HP based champions and AoE. The only champion that comes close and exceeds his damage is Magnar. Magnar has a 30% from books, which is better than Terrace, and a double hit. Basically unconditional because you're not going to apply HP burn. So Magnar actually hits quite hard. So his total damage is 0.44 with 30% from books. He has lower base stats, so he won't hit. Terrace can catch up. But Terrace's base multiplier is actually very reasonable, so it's in line with most of their champions, like Sir Nick, for example, 0.25, 20%, so that's in line with Terrace. But the fact that Terrace basically can triple his damage, so if he gets like 200% bonus, which is very possible because Sifi applies 3 buffs on 4 champions, that's 12. You add a bolster set, that's 16. So 16 times 15, yeah, it's just gonna get, that's already 130%. That's from 1 champion and a bolster set. So he's doing 130%. Yeah, when you work that out, he's hitting for harder than Magnar, way harder than Magnar. It's just an insane amount of damage from this move. And my proposed fix, which would probably be the most impactful, because this move is probably makes him extremely strong in live arena, is probably to reduce. There's a couple ways to do it. You can either reduce the damage that he gets per buff, or you can cap the damage he can get from buffs. So 100%. Let's say he can double his damage. That's fine. That's similar to like, that's slightly better than Magnar, but it's not going to be like that much better. Or you can apply the damage increase only to himself. So if he gets buffs, then the damage increase only is based on the buffs that he gets. So that's going to be a pretty strong nerf. So that's a harder nerf than having it capped at 100%, for example. The other way to do it, those two would be my way of doing it. Basically cap his damage at 100, or cap it so that he only gains the damage bonus from himself. There's also a situation with him right now where his damage is bugged. It's based off of his full HP regardless of max HP lost. So this is some kind of bug there. I don't know how much it's going to matter most of the time, but I mean, he hits so hard, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, so that's another thing that needs to be looked at for him. But yeah, I think if they can do something about this skill, then it's going to go a long way. All right, so moving on, we go down to his passives. So his passives, just ridiculous. Basically, he weakens, he takes attack off of your champion when he gets hit by your champion. So if you have an attack-based champion, he gets weaker every time he gets hit. That's ridiculous. And then he places a fear. So he fears 4 factions at the start of each round. So at the start of the arena round, he fears them. This is applicable to like things like Rotos, Warlord, Sifi. So all these factions are going to get feared right away. It can sheep him, but I mean, it's kind of like still a very insane thing that people have to adjust for. His other passive, reduce all incoming damage by 50%. So he's just so stupidly tanky. Why? These 3 passives almost make no sense on this champion. If you removed all 3 of these passives, he would still be insanely strong just for all his A1, A2, A3, just from the damage that he pumps out. But why do you make him insanely hard to kill and he has crowd control? Makes no damn sense. So my proposed fix is give him a chance to fear. Make it not resist, make it resistible. Like, why? Why is it irresistible? It makes no sense. Give him a chance to place fear, make it resistible. I'd say 50% chance, make it resistible. Plarium likes RNG. Like, put it right here. Put it right here for his fear mechanic. Or freaking just remove his fear mechanic, because it makes no damn sense on this champion. And then his poise ability is passive, where it reduces 50% of damage. Why? Why does it need to be that high? Reduce it, I would say cut it in half. Cut it in half. That's already insanely strong. Because Duchess does an AoE reduction of 30%. And Pythion is 5% per buff. Why is Terrace get a flat 15 on himself? It doesn't make any damn sense. Yeah. Make it 25. Like, yeah, that'll still make him pretty strong, but at least he somewhat can be killed, maybe. But still incredibly strong. So basically, like, the nerfs I propose in yellow are things that are like kind of half-handed nerfs. They're not necessarily going to be enough, but I think this nerf to his AoE might be enough to make him still strong, but this would take away a lot of the pressure that he applies right away. Because if he drops the first nuke and he kills like 2 of your champions, like, your game's done. You're not going to be able to kill Terrace if you don't have Terrace. But he will probably nuke half your team with just this move, one move alone. So I think if you cap his damage somewhat, he still has plenty of benefits to make this move better than Magnar's AoE. And it will still hit harder than Magnar, so he's, you know, Void Champion, whatever. He's still gonna be strong. But I think this is not enough. This is not enough. So you have to do something with other reductions in his kit. He's just way too strong. He's definitely my most wanted champion. And yeah, it's just an insane champion. How did they release this type of champion? I don't know. Anyways, and then that doesn't even include Marichka. So Marichka is the partner in crime. A1, 100% chance random ally teams up and attack. If it's Terrace, he's going to use his A1. I don't think she should have a 100% chance. I think it should be a reduction in it should be a percentage in chance that should be applied to the random ally. The fact that she can just bring Terrace in all the time to attack, I think is freaking ridiculous, because Terrace is A1, hits so hard, has team benefits. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. Her other move, fully restore, 4-turn cooldown down to 3 with books. Fully restore, all allies decrease max HP. Heals all allies with 40% of this champion's max HP, which is an insane heal, by the way. Places a shield buff and protected strengthen on all allies for 2 turns. Value of shield equals 20%. So I kind of made like a soft kind of nerf to this move. Basically, her heal shield is all 20%, flat 20%. So I basically cut her heal in half. The move is still great, but it's not going to be as great because 40% on her, she's likely going to be like 100k HP at the top. So 40k heal is like a full heal most of the time. And then you get a shield on top. So she's like a one move, save everyone, protect everyone, strengthen. Yeah, I think 20% is a very small nerf. It's probably not going to change much, like the strength of this skill, but it's just something easy for Plarium to do, like, which is what the yellows are for. These are like easy nerfs. Her other move, 4-turn cooldown, cleanse, full team cleanse, turn meter boost, for extra turn meter boost for each debuff removed. Increases resistance by each defense debuff removed, and then gives an extra turn if 5 or more debuffs are removed. The extra turn part is actually can be good, because she basically is a damage dealer with the A1, always ally attacking. Yeah, I didn't think this was too overpowered, 4-turn cooldown. So I kind of just left it as is. I don't really necessarily feel she is too overpowered by herself. And then the passive I think if you just fix the passive, she'd be fine, and I would be fine with her totally. So I have a very simple change for her passive. Basically give both passives a 3-turn cooldown. So right now the 3-turn cooldown only applies to this block damage application when she receives a bomb, poison, or HP burn, or sorry, any champion on the team. Is a 3-turn cooldown. But it should apply to this passive as well. Revive all dead allies with 50% HP and 75% turn meter whenever she's killed. It should apply here. If it is applied here, she's a one-time team revive turn meter, which is insane, right? The team revive with the turn meter is insane. The revive is not that bad, but the turn meter is insane. So if you apply any cooldown to this, you make it so that she is beatable more conventionally, more easier. So you don't need like special tricks to basically beat her, right? And it gives your team a little bit of chance to recover, basically to kill another reviver, to set up to kill another reviver. 3-turn might be harsh, but it still makes her incredibly effective. Her skills are basically intact to be effective. And she still has her passive bonuses with Terrace. So I feel like I thought about these really hard and what Plarium would be willing to do to these champions, because everyone knows that these champions are basically hurting the arena environment quite a bit, along with Sheep. Arguably Sheep is even worse, but these two champions are definitely at the center of the champion pool that affects arena quite a bit. So I feel like if his damage was reduced, along with maybe like 1 or 2 of these yellow suggestions, damage reduction, ability reduction, make him easier to kill, make him do slightly less damage, and then put a damn cooldown on this stupid revive team thing on Marichka, and I think it's probably good to go. Like, you know, he'd still do the stupid A2 when she gets hit. She'd still get like an ally attack with him joining in, which is stupid. He still hits stupidly strong with his A1, A2, A3, and he still have survivability and CC, which is again stupid. But if Plarium did a couple of these small adjustments, I think this couple is more bearable. It might not be, as oppressive. And like I said, like based on live arena statistics right now, Terrace is basically like a general. He's a general champion. He's not like a counter to anything, and he has the highest win rate of any of the generalness in live arena. That just shows how strong he is. And Marichka doesn't really do anything special. She's also a generalist support champion. She's not even a reviver, because you can't really use this to revive. You can't revive your team like on a whim, right? You have to, but she's one of the best support champions in terms of overall win rate. So there are some statistics that back up that they are incredibly strong. And I hope that Plarium understands with their own statistics that they are actually very strong. And they do probably need, some further review. But Plarium, into money, they know people are chasing these guys. Maybe we'll get something, maybe at Christmas for their 1 year evaluation. Maybe they'll see that, hey, we'll do something to these guys. But anyways, that's all I got for you guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment below, and if I missed anything, thanks for listening to my rant, I guess. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.